So I ended up getting my fiance back on the phone, and we ended up getting into it. And I said, I asked him the same thing. Where you say you was at again? And I said, well, I talked to Nicole. She said you was with her. I played the reverse psychology thing.
Right.
And he said, huh? Uh-huh. And I said, Nicole said you was with her. You were on a work trip. Did you invite her? And so for him, he was like, well, no, man, she popped up on me. And so he didn't know that I really never spoke to her.
Wait a minute.
From fake friendships to unpaid childcare to full-on betrayal, this case has it all.
You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
So I met Nicole about 9 months ago. She normally comes into town when she is here on a traveling assignment, and the lady next door rents out her home to travel nurses. And so over time, we, kind of clicked and we started hanging out.
Right off the bat, I knew this was about to get messy. A nice neighbor story? Oh, please. That's court show fuel if I've ever heard it.
And would come over and play with mine, and we just, became really good friends. And so this particular time, she had another assignment somewhere else, and her current nanny wasn't available. And so I offered to keep the kids. I had just finished special agent school, and I had some downtime.
Helping out with the kids? That always sounds harmless until suddenly you're the full-time mom without ever agreeing to it. She tried to be nice, but now she's stuck.
So she was like, well, it'll be about 6 weeks, but I probably just need you for the 2 weeks, and my other nanny will come and get the kids. And I said, okay, cool. I told her, a price. We kind of made the arrangements.
So she just disappeared into thin air after making the arrangements? That's bizarre.
I didn't hear from her. She didn't.
Wait a minute. So after a week of you having her children, she didn't call you, she didn't check on them, no FaceTime, nothing?
I couldn't get her on the phone. I would call. I would send her a text. The kids would even call. I think the 10-year-old has a phone. He even tried to call. She just wasn't available.
No calls, no check-ins. For over a week. If running from responsibilities had a face, I mean, I don't care how busy you are. Those are your kids. How do you disappear like that?
The second week came around, I didn't get the next payment. The next payment would have been through Venmo. She didn't send me no money. She didn't send the payment. I still couldn't get her on the phone. So at the time, my fiance had just got back in town, probably a couple days after she had left. And I kind of was telling him about what was going on. And he, was like, well, just give her some time. And, just, to me, nonchalant about it in a way.
Well, she didn't just disappear. She freed herself from the financial burden as well. And this woman's not just watching these kids, she's feeding, parenting, managing their lives. Nicole, on the other hand, is acting like it's free daycare.
I remember when he left, that next week when I couldn't get on the phone again, I happened to just call him and I couldn't get him on the phone. And I was just like, okay, something isn't right. Mm-hmm. My detectors went off and
Mine
I was
are
like,
too.
okay. So I ended up pulling his location and I realized they were in the same state.
Then the fiance's location shows he's where Nicole is? Nah, that's not work. That's a whole side story she didn't sign up for. Sketchy on every single level.
She should only be at the hospital. She shouldn't be anywhere else. But they both travel.
Who's to say where I should be, but okay.
Well, who's to say you should wait your turn?
And so, so I end up, I remember I ended up FaceTiming him and he didn't answer, which is unusual because he would call every night, he would check in. The communication is never our issue.
She tries to keep it calm, but we all know she's connecting the dots. Michael and Nicole in the same city, at the same time. Don't even try to call it luck. That's pure betrayal.
Now we're probably 2.5 weeks in. I got him on the phone that Wednesday morning and I happened to hear her in the background.
Keep going.
And so I said, where you at? He said, I'm getting ready to go into a meeting. And I said, oh, okay. I said, oh, okay. And I left it at that.
So the pieces are finally falling into place now. What a game they both have been playing. Sounds like a Christopher Nolan script in all honesty.
Probably now we're 2.5 weeks in, and so I decided to call her again. She ends up calling probably that afternoon and was like, oh, I'm sorry, I've been working and it's just been crazy at work.
Nicole finally shows up with weak excuses and a bad attitude. No accountability, just more deflection. Girl, you dropped your kids off and disappeared. That's it. That's the story.
And I said, I thought I might have heard Michael in the background. Are you sure? You know, you at work. And she kind of got an attitude and got real defensive. And I said, I'm at work, and you know, you offered to do the kids, and I'll get you your money, and just
the audacity.
Yeah.
You're keeping her kids.
All of that.
And you have kids of your own.
Kids of my own.
House is a mess. Kids are wild. She's trying her best not to snap. At this point, she's taken on a whole second family for free. And she's supposed to just smile through it.
So I ended up getting my fiance back on the phone, and we ended up getting into it. And I said, I asked him the same thing. Where you say you was at again? And I said, well, I talked to Nicole. She said you was with her. I played the reverse psychology thing.
Right.
And he said, huh? Uh-huh. And I said, Nicole said you was with her. You were on a work trip. Did you invite her? And so for him, he was like, well, no, man, she popped up on me. And so he didn't know that I really never spoke to her.
Fiance tries to lie his way out, but she flips the script. He walks right into it. Thought he was slick until he got outsmarted by basic logic.
At this point now, me and him into it, I'm about ready to go drop her kids and my kids off somewhere and get in my car and get on the road. So at this point...
You didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. You kind of hesitated.
I'm a changed woman. Yeah, I'm a changed
okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm a special agent now, so I have to always think about the things that I do before I do them.
Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, so that's kind of what happened. And so I'm bringing her here today for non-payment and for the damages that her children caused in my home during their stay.
She could have walked out, left all the kids, hit the road, and let them deal with the mess. But she didn't. That's the real responsibility. Something the actual mom clearly forgot about.
No, just besides, I really just want her to get the kids or find a family, find somebody to come get them. I'm not gonna put the children out on the street, you know, that's just not me. But, you know, she needs to come get her kids. The damages, they damaged my garage door. They have just been little rugrats and just tearing up the home, markers on the walls, and damaged the cabinets, and the bathroom faucet is hanging off the faucet wall now.
3 months later, still no sign of Nicole stepping up. That's not a misunderstanding. That's abandonment. You don't forget your kids for a whole season.
Judge.
Hi.
I just want to, first of all, say yes, she is a special agent, and she uses her job on a daily basis. She wants to be in everybody's business. And
I just have one question though. Was your location really where Michael was?
Yes.
Nicole finally speaks, and it's pure attitude. Like she's the one doing someone a favor. No remorse, no shame, just straight denial with a side of ego.
How he came to be in the same city as mine, I don't know how his job works, but he ended up being in the same city as mine.
So now she is trying to say it was a coincidence? Whoa, the audacity.
I have made payments to her. They have a joint account, so it's not my responsibility if he gets the money out before she notices it's there.
That doesn't make sense. Why would you be making deposits in their joint account
for keeping the kids?
No. Wouldn't it make sense for you to just give it directly to her?
And don't even get me started on the money excuse. If you're really paying, you'd send it straight to her, not through the man you're sneaking around with.
To watch the kids.
She volunteered to watch them for a temporary basis.
Correct.
Not weeks, not months, not to still have them.
Yes, but did she tell you that whenever I would call and tell her that my nanny wasn't available or my contract was extended, that she was like, oh, that's no problem,
Well, I think the only reason she said that is, like she said, she didn't want to put the kids out on the street. That doesn't cue you to say, oh, well, let me just leave my children there, right?
The she didn't kick them out logic is wild. That's not parenting, that's passing the buck. You can't dump kids and act like that's kindness being repaid.
I'm not going to leave my kids with someone permanently.
Okay, it sounds like you've done that, and that's the reason that she's here. I mean, we can't necessarily award damages or anything, but you can definitely be placed on child support if your children are going to remain living with her.
They will not.
She says she's getting them soon. Please, that's just to look good in court. If that were true, she wouldn't have waited 3 months and a summons to show up.
You can go pick them up. Yes. But as of today, because they've been with her, how long have they been with you now at this point?
Now, 3rd month.
3 months? Mm-hmm. 3 months? And they've been living with you?
I've been feeding, caring.
And you're still on assignment?
I am.
And after all this, she has the audacity to blame her kind friend? Whoa, people are weird and selfish.
So that brings your net to $5,667.87. We take that number by 25%. That brings your monthly child support to $1,417. And I gave you credit to your $250 health insurance.
What was the number?
Right.
Her face was like, wait, this costs real money? Yes, ma'am. Welcome to parenting.
So, how much money do you make a year?
$90,000.
Okay. $90,000 you sent her? Nothing.
But the kids won't be with her.
Well, they are for now, and they have been for the past 3 months. And your assignment with your assignment with your job got extended. So until you pick them up, that's what the situation will be. Now, if you decide to go pick them up and you keep them, right, don't take them back to her, then it can change. But until then, that's what we're going to do.
Sounds like the judge is laying down the rules pretty clearly. Until you step up, nothing changes. Tough love vibes, for sure.
I'm glad that, I'm not married to him because I'll be asking for spousal support. I heard she's pregnant.
Oh.
So that number sounds about right.
She hears a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't sound like you disagree with anything she said. Yeah, it's right. Is there any other questions?
And then the rumor drops. Pregnant? That's the finale this soap opera didn't even need, but it got anyway. She didn't even deny it.